In section 4.2, we take a look at factoring a trinomial, that's 3 terms. And we're looking at trinomials that do not have a coefficient in front of x squared. So if there's just a 1 here in front of the x squared, nothing else that's spooky out in front there, that's a little bit easier. We're going to start with those. Our next section is going to look at what if there's a number in front of the x squared. I have a shortcut or a little trick I'll show you for those. So for section 4.2, to factor trinomials, we're saying if I start with something like x squared plus 8x plus 15, how can I rewrite that as 2 parentheses? 2 factors that when multiplied together using the FOIL process would give me back to x squared plus 8x plus 15. When I factor these, I a lot of times think of them like each parentheses having 3 fill in the blanks. 3 positions that I need to find out entries for. The middle on each parentheses is going to be addition or subtraction, plus or minus. And the first term in these types of problems are kind of a freebie because I know that the only way to get first times first in the FOIL process to be x squared is if it's x times x, right? So just like when you play bingo and you get that free space in the middle that you never have to worry about, you just always get the free space. X here and x here is going to be like our free space. In this section, we always have x and x. To fill in the last part, you're going to ask yourself, what 2 numbers would multiply to equal 15 and also a pairing that multiplies to 15 and also add together to equal 8? What pair of numbers is a unique pair of numbers that would multiply together to be 15 and would add together to be the middle coefficient, or 8? The way that I usually think about this is I start with the number 15 and I just start writing down pairs. 15 can be written as 1 times 15 or 3 times 5. Not a lot of choices there. That's a pretty easy one. Does 1 plus 15 equal 8? No, obviously. 3 plus 5, right? That's pretty easy. So this pair is the one that works because it multiplies to 15, multiplies to the last number, adds to the middle number. In fact, let's put that in our notes right here. Multiplies to this one and adds to the 8, the middle term. Multiplies to 15 and adds to 8. And that, in this case, it's going to be a 3 and a 5. Now the only 2 blanks that I have left to fill in is should it be addition or subtraction. And in this case, I had a plus here and a plus here. My original problem was plus plus. That tells me that this will also have to be plus plus. Because if I'm going to take last times last and get a positive number, 3 times 5, last times last in the FOIL process, to get a positive number here has to either be positive times positive or negative times negative, right? But if it was negative times negative, then when I added the inside and the outside, I'd have 2 negatives. I would have had negative 3x and negative 5x, and negative plus negative would have made this a negative 8. But because it adds to a positive and multiplies to a positive, it has to be 2 positives. Because it multiplies to a positive and adds to a positive. X plus 3 times x plus 5. Try this one. X squared plus 7x plus 6. I always start by writing my 2 parentheses. You know, you've got a free space at the beginning of each parentheses. And you want to ask yourself what multiplies to be 6 but would add to be 7. Here, 6 equals 6 times 1 or 2 times 3. Those are my only choices to multiply to 6. 6 times 1 or 2 times 3. Which one of those adds to 7? 6 and 1, right? 2 and 3 will multiply to 6, but when I add 2 plus 3, I'd only get 5. Here, that won't work. So 6 and 1 multiply to 6 and add to 7. So I have the free space, x times x to get x squared. And then I have 6 and 1 to get 6 times 1 equals the last number, and 6 plus 1 equals 7, the middle number. And then because these